So you're thinking about starting a podcast, right? That's why you clicked on this video, right? All right. So we're going to talk about different kind of podcasts. You have video podcasts and you have audio podcasts. And we're going to talk about equipment that you can use, and we're going to talk about some tips you can use that's going to help you have a successful podcast. So when I said that there's two kind of podcasts, there's video podcasts and that's audio podcasts. Video podcast is this right here. You're looking at me, you're hearing me, you're able to see things that I'm doing on the screen. Like if I do like this, you're able to see that, and we talk about it on the podcast. That's a visual podcast. And those are always good because sometimes people actually just want to see you. They want to see your expressions. They want to see, visually see content that you have and what it looked like. That's always good. And also, I suggest if you do video podcasts, just put the video out and put the audio out separately as well. That way, people can, if they just want to listen to you, they can listen to you. If they want to see you, they can see you. But today, we're just going to talk about audio podcasts and how to set up your audio podcast and what equipment you can use to have a good sounding podcast without breaking the bank. So right now, this is a video podcast. This is overkill. This is lights and green screen and things like that. And if you guys want me to show you how to set up all of this kind of stuff, then leave that in the comment. I'll make a video doing that. But since we're not really discussing that today, we're just going to go to a whole different setting and talk about the audio and the equipment. All right. All right. So now that we are in a more intimate setting where I could break things down to you, first thing I want to talk to y'all about is starting a podcast and some of the equipment that you're going to need. And the main piece of equipment that you're going to need is a microphone. Now, everybody think when you starting a podcast, you need the Shure SM7B because it's the more popular mic. Don't get me wrong, it's a great microphone. The microphone runs you about $400, but starting a podcast, equipment can be pricey. So, an alternative microphone I would recommend is the Shure MV7X microphone. It's like the little brother to the Shure SM7B, and this is an XLR microphone. Great microphone. It's not as expensive. It's about $179. You may even be able to find it for a little cheaper. Just got to shop around. But this microphone is good for starting a podcast. It looks good. It sounds good. And right now, you guys are hearing the raw audio. There's no edit on this microphone or on my voice at all. This is going directly into my camera. And I will make a more in-depth video about how to do that. The Shure SM7B, the microphone itself is like $400, and then that microphone requires a cloud lift, and that's like $150. So you're paying like $550 just for the microphone in that piece alone. So I would recommend something like this where you don't need a cloud lifter. This do requires 48-volt phantom power. And it's a lot cheaper, like I said. There's other microphones that you can use, but the goal is to get a good microphone where you don't have to do a bunch of editing to your voice and to enhance it or make it sound full or make it however, because the cheaper you go with the microphones, there are good cheap microphones, but you're going to have to do a lot of editing to your voice and to your guest voice. So I would just recommend this microphone. Next, I want to talk about mixers, right? So I have this right here. This is the Zoom PodTrak P4. Great mixer. This is small. It's on the go. It has a spot for your SD card so you can record your audio. If I could get this open. I ain't got nails. You need nails, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. So right here on the side, there's a spot where you can put your SIM card and you can record all of your audio onto this. There's 4 microphone inputs, XLR microphone inputs. This thing do have 48-volt phantom power. You have control over each microphone. There's 4 microphones, like I said. So here's 4 gain knobs for each microphone. This also has 4 headphone inputs, and it has the 4 volume knobs for each headphone. This thing has a keypad for sound effects, intros, and things like that. It's 4 keypads on here. You can listen to your playback. This thing take batteries, and with batteries, it take 4 AA batteries, but this will last up to like 4 hours. Just consistent use with 4 AA batteries. So that's good if you want to do podcasts on the go. You want to go to a park. You want to be outside. You can do your podcast outside. But also, this do have um, input where you could plug it into the wall, and you don't need batteries. So this is real good. I recommend this. But if you plan on having more guests on the show and you want to do a little more, I want to introduce you guys to the big brother. This is the PodTrak P8. And this thing has 6 microphone inputs, and you can control the microphones with the knobs right here, the gain or whatever. So it's 6 of them. This thing do take batteries as well, but it also has a plug where you can plug it into the wall. This has 9 keypads that light up. I don't have it on right now, but this has 9 keypads that light up, different colors, sound effects, song intros, things like that. This do have a SD slot right here on the back where you can put your SD and your things like that. This do have an attachment right here. This is called the what is it? The BTA, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, BTA2. This is for Bluetooth. So this is so you can have remote callers call in and the audience can hear them come directly through the mixer into the headphones, into the computer, or into the camera, or however you got your setup. I usually run this directly into my camera. There's inputs on here where you can plug right here, and you plug the other end into your camera, so you're getting the audio directly from the mixer into the camera. And also, if you guys want me to make a video about how to connect your mixer into your camera so your audio is going straight from your microphone into the mixer into your camera, let me know in the comments. I will make an in-depth video about that. I'm not even touching the surface of what this thing can do, but this is a lot cheaper than a lot of people go with the Rodecaster. And don't get me wrong, the Rodecaster is cool, but this is a lot cheaper than the Rodecaster. And the Rodecaster, if I'm not mistaken, only have 4 microphone XLR inputs. This has 6. I'll put this in the description, the link, so y'all can check this out. Another thing that I like to have is not necessary, headphones. I recommend headphones. Now, headphones to do a podcast is just preference. It's not like mixing vocals in the studio. And the reason why I like headphones, especially when I have guests, is because it makes it more intimate. Like I can hear you in my head while we're having a conversation. We're not just talking across the room with so much space. So if I'm whispering and I'm being real quiet, or I'm talking about something very mysterious, they can hear me in that tone, and it just seems like it just feels better. It's a warm feeling to have headphones. So I want you guys to remember, starting a podcast. So I want you to remember, when you're starting a podcast, you got to think, okay, what is the goal of this episode? What message am I trying to get across? What is my audience? You got to know your audience, your niche. You got to know what you're trying to get across, and what you plan at the end of that episode. What do you want your consumers to take from it? So kind of plan ahead and kind of have some kind of strategic blueprint to what you want to do. That way you're not just all over the place. Kind of have a topic, a subject, and kind of execute that so your followers and your listeners can follow along. And so just make sure you got good topics, and just kind of staying on subject each episode. So if your episode is about cars, you don't want to end up talking about concerts in that episode. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video, and let me know what you guys want to see. If you want me to do a more in-depth video about podcasting, just let me know. And I'm out. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace.